One of the biggest things that I've noticed, like when I watched the third season for the first season, my acting have gotten better. Because at first I was just calling her, did I do good, Joy? You did all right. Thank God everybody else around you can act.
The Miss Pat Show season 3 is now streaming on BET Plus, and I'm remembering visiting the set while you guys were filming season 3. And one of the things you said about the theme for season 2 is healing. What would you say the theme would be for season 3?
I'm gonna let Jordan answer that one. He's a theme person.
I can't. I think there's a character theme, and then there's also a show theme. So character theme. Really, what we see in this season is Pat, on the come up as a comedian, trying her best to juggle balance being a comedian and a mom and a wife. And her trying to figure out if all these things can happen at once, without neglecting or dropping the ball on another. So that's really what the theme is here. And as far as the family, it's really growth. Everybody's inching towards something new. Everybody's inching towards new ground. But as a creator, I think that this is the I Love Lucy season. I keep on saying this is the pure comedy. Like, we just balls to the wall. We just have a lot of fun.
So growth.
Yeah, there you go.
College people always give you long answers. College educated people. Just grow. Just grow.
Yeah, exactly. But Miss Matt, I wanted to ask you this. Your character in season 3, her career ascends. She has an agent. She's an OBI for a comedian. So how is this similar to what you went through in your real life?
I didn't get an agent that fast. My career didn't take off that fast. It took about 15 years. But Jordan, we was able to put it into a half an hour to show you, how I go from here to not being able to get gigs to looking up and being able to open for someone who was a really big comedian. That really happened in my life. I ended up opening for Ernest J, D. Ray, and Cat Williams. And so that really kind of push me out there even more in front of a bigger audience. So we just took that and created an episode out of it.
Absolutely. And Jordan, when I got to visit you guys on set, you were directing that episode. I think it was episode 9. Do you direct any other episodes throughout the season? Who are some of the directors that come in and work with you guys this season?
Yeah, so I directed the first episode, and the 5th episode, and the 9th episode. Some really, really fun ones. So 3 this season, and then we also have Mary Lou Belli returning to direct some episodes. We also have Kelly Park, who comes in to direct an episode or 2 episodes. So we had a joy of riches.
Debbie Allen came back. She always
the Christmas.
Yeah. She directed pilot, so she comes back every year to direct another episode.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah, I love to hear that. And Miss Pat, with you being the star, writer, executive producer, what's the biggest thing you've learned about working on the sitcom these past 3 seasons?
Patience.
Yeah.
It ain't always what you write, because boy, we write stuff and then you look up, here he is peeking behind a bush. Say this, say that. I'm like, oh, come on, Jordan. do that. He be directing out of flower pots and stuff. You pull open a nightstand, there's Jordan. Try this line. So patience, one of the biggest things that I've noticed, like when I watched the third season for the first season, my acting have gotten better. Because at first I was just calling her, did I do good, Joy? You did all right. Thank God everybody else around you can act. So to look at my growth with the acting, I was smiling this season. I was like, oh, I'm growing up some. Okay.
Tremendously, yeah. Yeah, she's killing it.
Well, Miss Pat, I'm glad you brought that up, because you mentioned that you've said in the past few years that you're not an actor. And I just recently talked to Jay Bernard and Brittany, and they said you're an actor. So do you consider yourself an actor now?
I consider myself a comedian first.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
That's what got all of this started. Yeah, and I am an actress, because I don't want to say I'm not an actress. And somebody said, well, we're not going to hire her. Yeah, I can act. I can read out loud really well now. So I'm an actress, but at heart, I'm a comedian first. And that's why I love the show, because I get to yell out stuff along with Jordan in flower pots and side of a drawer, pots and pans.
Absolutely. And One of the things I noticed about season 3 is there's some really great guest stars, specifically Marla Gibbs, who's seen at towards the end of season 3. So what was it like working with her?
For me, as a female, to grow up watching Marla Gibbs on TV, and for Jordan, we're gonna get Marla Gibbs, like, boy, be quiet. And for him to bring her in there, and he got her cussing, and I was like, Jordan, you ain't got respect for nobody. You think Marla Gibbs gonna say that? That's Marla Gibbs. He's like, I don't see if she'll curse. But I was kind of a little starstruck to be working alongside Marla Gibbs, and just to see how funny she was and how she still got it while she's in her 90s.
Absolutely. And Jordan, I wanted to ask you this. This show has received a ton of praise. It was recently nominated for an Emmy Award. So why do you think this show has been successful?
I mean, I think it's because, it's just something that we haven't seen, but it's everything that we see in real life every day. It's a Black family that is just unfiltered, unadulterated, and doesn't move in identity politics as far as being respectable or being acceptable. It's really just we are flies on the walls in this Black family's household, and they get to have real conversations and hard conversations. And it's also a Trojan horse for the world to have these hard conversations that they don't normally get to have, or they don't normally have the language to have. And so I think that people just relate to it, and they see themselves in it. And when they don't see themselves, they wish they could be that, and I think that I'm just really grateful that people responded, because really it was a big experiment, right? It was a big experiment as to whether or not, because we sold the show in 2018. So it's like when we wrote the pilot, it was like there were no cursing rated R multicams, And so it was like, oh, can we do a rated R family sitcom in front of a live studio audience and see if they laugh? And so I remember shooting the pilot and waiting for that bated breath of like, oh, please laugh. And they laughed, and they haven't stopped laughing since. So I'm so grateful for that.
And also, I truly think it's because, it wasn't my idea. Jordan gave a voice to people that Hollywood wasn't trying to hear. They didn't have a voice. There's so many moms out there that carry on and act and talk like me, but Hollywood's like, oh my God, no, women doesn't talk like that. Mothers are perfect. No, they're not. Why are you gonna wait till your mama die to find those Polaroids to really find out she was a freak? So, Jordan just gave them a voice, and they love it. Every time I go and do stand-up, they always come up and tell me, oh my God, Miss Pat, you my mama, you my aunt. I'm like, no, I'm not. I don't know you. But I'm that voice that they've been leaving out for so many years, and people really like the realness of it.
Absolutely. And one last question before I let you guys go is, it looks like season 3 is going to be a hit, and I know that it's just been released, but do you have any plans for a 4th season?
I have plans for whatever they give me. Now speak to it.
No, I really think it depends on the audience showing up. I mean, if people watch it and they're enjoying it, then we're gonna keep on going. But that's really what we gotta get people to watch the show and run up those numbers for season 3.
Yeah, so they say, come on, season 4.
Absolutely. Well, I'm looking forward to it. Ms. Pat, Jordan, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. Again, congratulations on season 3 and continued success to both of you. The Miss Pat Show season 3 is now streaming on BET Plus. So what can fans expect from this season?
More excitement, more fun, more laughs, more life-challenging moments that we all as a family deal with and get through. We get to see Pat, excel in her stand-up comedy. You get to see, myself as Terry, understand how to deal with asking for help and asking the kids to rally around situations and us working together to get things done. Go ahead, Britt.
Yeah, I would say, I guess speaking for the kids on the show, you get to see us deal with our mom's growing success, and also what it looks like when she's away for an extended period of time, and all the mischief that we can get into and get up to. And I would say specifically for Ashley, you see her trying to just navigate like her love life and accept herself more, as she's gotten her family to accept her, but now it's time for her to look inward at herself. So that's the kids' journey.
So yeah, I'm glad that you all mentioned that, because Dave and Arden want to ask you this. You mentioned that, Terry has to deal with Pat's career ascendant and how that affects him. So how does Miss Pat's career impact him when it comes to what goes on in the house with the family and his career?
Well, for the most part, she's absent a lot. So that means that, I have to do things on my own, and which I'm, as a provider, I'm pretty much used to doing. But at the same time, I'm always not willing to ask for help, to understand how to, navigate through the situations that we go through. So as Pat's away, there's a lot of situations in this season that one deals with, and wherewith, her being there would help to, get through those situations. But, as you're going to see everything unfold, we, as we do in our style and our show, we find a way to adapt and move on with life and learn from the situations that we go through.
And Brittany, you talked about what Ashley goes through. We saw at the end of season 2 where Pat finds out that her girlfriend is cheating on her, and while Brittany doesn't believe it at the beginning of season 3 or in the early stages of season 3, she finds out. So how much have you liked Brittany's or Ashley's character arc throughout these past 3 seasons?
You know what? I've been very excited and proud of her arc. I think, in season 1, we see her coming out to her family and specifically trying to get her mom to understand her, to see her, right? And then season 2, she has her family's acceptance, but now she's on a journey trying to place herself with the right person and, going through the ups and downs of love. And I think in season 3, you're going to see a bit more of that, but in a very comedic lens, her just trying to find her way, enjoy her single life, and what that looks like. And also just being able to be closer to her siblings and be the voice of reason and be the big sister that's really more hands-on, I would say, in season 3.
Absolutely. And at the end of season 2, this question is for both of you. The show took on a very serious issue, abortion, and how people react to it. So what types of issues are addressed in this season?
Wow, that's a very good question. For Terry, once again, Pat's away from home, so there's some situations that he deals with at work. And wherewith, there's something that happens to him. There's an injury, and he confides in someone that Pat definitely would not approve of. You know what I'm saying? So to understand how to balance her knowing that, hey, listen, you can always trust me. You can always know that, I have your back, and I'm always going to find a way to get through things without, hurting you, to help her to understand that helpmeet is always going to be there for her. But as she's away, to deal with those situations and understand how to be with my kids, and each one of them understand what it is about them, the situations that they're going through. And as a father, try to address those things, ultimately, making those executive decisions as the parent in the house, but at the same time, understanding and listening to my kids. It's a great thing for parents to always to understand that you have to listen to your kids when they speak to you, because there are some important things and nuggets in their minds that you don't see, and their perspective of what they're going through. So to be able to work together and understand how that works is it could be difficult at sometimes, and you're going to see that happen. You're going to see Terry going through that injury and dealing with an addiction that develops out of it, and how his kids react to that, and how he deals with them, and what they have to do to get him, literally tie him down to get him to see, hey, Dad, we love you. We just want the best for you. Lean on us. We're here for you. We're here for each other.
I just love the journey that we take in this season. And like I said, seeing like Pat go off and have success in her career and how that leaves her family at home and all the stuff we get into. So it's really hard to say which one stands out the most. I think maybe the most legendary one would be, having Marla Gibbs be a part of an episode of that stands out in terms of her legendary contribution to the Black sitcom, as it were. So I would say as far as it stands out for that reason, but they all stand out to me for various reasons.
I stand on that too, on the same tangent as Brittany. It's very hard to choose. Now, of course, I'm gonna be a little biased because it's our work, is what we do. It's, you know what I mean? But at the same time, there is something from the response to our show and the authenticity of it that creates the vibe that we are getting right now on the show, that makes it hard for us to decide on, hey man, which episode was the best one, was the best moments, because, for me, I feed off of every last one of them. There's something that becomes a part of my pathos from each and every last episode. And I think that's what brings people back each and every time to watch, to see what's going to happen, to see how our family deals with life situations. So absolutely. I'm sorry, all of them.
No, I like it. Nothing wrong with that at all. One last question before I let you guys go is, with Miss Pat being the co-star and executive producer and writer, how is it working with her these past 3 seasons?
A hoot.
Yeah.
That's probably a hoot. And you can quote me directly on that. It's just, oh God, Miss Pat is exactly what you think, right? Like what you see is what you get. She is herself all of the time. And I think it's been a joy working with her. And I'll also say, like, from a personal standpoint, I've also been so proud of her working these last 3 seasons, because coming in, like, she was the only one who didn't have a ton of acting experience. We're all coming in from the stage, the screen, et cetera, and building the show around her and her amazing story. And just to see her growth over these 3 seasons, like growing as an actor, knowing when to ask questions, all of us like chipping in to just help her and stand in the gap and be the support that she needs. It's just been really great. And I'm very proud of her to just see her continued growth, because she kills it. She really does. She kills it. And I'm always so proud when I see the final product.
I feel the same exact way. I'm a doting peer of Miss Pat. As Brittany said, she said it so beautifully, her growth in this process. She'll be the first one to tell you, I'm not an actor. And we like, I'm sorry, Miss Pat.
You're an actor.
You know what I mean? And to watch her growth through the years as an artist, as a storyteller, it's inspirational for all of us, I'm sure. And speaking for myself, definitely, especially playing her husband in those scenes where we work and do all of this deep material that we're doing. It's so much trust that we have with one another, so much chemistry. And she feels ultimately just uberly safe with all of us on set. Every day we come in, we feel safe with her. And this is how we grow as a company together. So her process is one of the best I've ever experienced as a professional. And like I said, she'd always say, hey, I'm not an actor. Like, well, you do stand up. That's some brave stuff. You by yourself on stage, hey, listen, you're storytelling, sister. So to do it in flux with some players on set and us creating that chemistry and love that we have there is just beautiful to behold and to be a part of. And I'm blessed to be a part of this. So.
Absolutely. Well, Jay Bernard and Brittany, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. Congratulations on season 3. The Miss Pat Show season 3 is now streaming on BET+. So how does season 3 stand out from the previous 2 seasons?
How doesn't it? I mean, we take a step further. We're definitely growing as a family, individually as well. We're tied into each other a lot more with these episodes, because a lot of the problems are more, the kids, or brother, mother and aunt. So we're more so tied in together with the things that we're going through. I would say. Season 3.
Definitely difference between season 2 and 3. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but definitely with Jay Bernard's character, he definitely goes through a lot this season that I believe the fans would really, really love to see compared to season 2. And we go through a lot too, because
we do.
Janelle goes through some teenage stuff, and I have a change of heart in my occupation. So just with every character, we definitely go through a lot more this season than we do in season 2.
Yeah, I would second what everybody said, basically. The one thing that pops out in my head is definitely our relationship. You see that a lot more, especially because Pat is gone doing her thing. So we get into more things, and we're there for each other, and that camaraderie there. I think it's the fans really get to see us like do a lot more together, which is exciting.
And Brianna, I wanted to ask you this. Janelle is obviously the smartest person in the family, also the wokest person, but but what can fans expect from Janelle this upcoming season?
Ooh, okay. Well, I think you see her have a little bit more fun and let loose a little bit more and kind of put her guard down, especially going back to what I said earlier, because she's with her siblings more and they get into more stuff. So I think she's learning more this season to kind of let her hair down and just have a little bit more fun.
Absolutely. And Thea, I want to ask you this about Junebug. He's still trying to find himself. He gets into some interesting situations in season 3. So do you see any similarities with you and Junebug?
In season 3, not as much as before. There's obviously, there's a certain episode that we have that's a little touch and go. I personally have never been through that, but the other ones, yes, I definitely can relate in one way or another. Junebug is definitely, yeah.
That's what
yeah.
Well, Vince, I wanted to ask you this about Brandon. He seems to be taking a turn in the right direction. We find out that in season 2 that he's a stripper, but he takes on a new job that actually fits to what he loves to do. So are you glad that he finally finds a job that fits him very well?
Yeah, I am. Those stripper scenes are very cold, so I'm very glad that
I can imagine.
man, it's cold as never. But all seriousness, to see his character arc from season 1 to now season 3, and where he's venturing off and finding himself, it's refreshing to see. And I feel like especially a lot of millennials, who are, still trying to figure it out at home, the pandemic and stuff, set a lot of people back, and student loans and stuff. So I feel like his character, especially for people our age, can definitely relate to, just trying to figure life out. Because that's all we do when we, get to a certain age. We can't figure everything out. Everybody believes that when you hit a certain age, you're supposed to have it all figured out. And Brandon's a perfect example I don't have it all figured out. I'm still figuring it out. And regardless of whether I find out what I really love to do early in life or late in life, when I find it, I'm gonna stick to it and do it. So
yeah, that's true.
Absolutely, man. This question is for all of you. And I got a chance to visit the set last summer at the end of season 3. And you guys, and it seemed like you guys had a lot of fun. I enjoyed the taping experience. So what's the best thing about being on the show?
What you said with the live audience, experiencing that, because I love theater. That's like my first baby. So I feel like our sitcom, it's the perfect blend of a hybrid of being theater while also being, television. And you don't really not many actors are able to get that experience. So for me, I'm just grateful to be able to experience it in the way that we do.
Yeah, I'm a theater baby as well. And just, there's nothing like a live audience. It's really not. And then just the camaraderie that we have on set, like literally when the audience isn't there, it's just enough fun in rehearsal. Like we really are a family. I mean, like we improv everything. Pat always ends up throwing a whammy on us when she just says a line out the blue, which makes it fun. We always have each other's back. Even in our downtime when we're just chilling on set, so Theo, what you doing with your dogs? And agree what's going on with this. Like we're just like a really big family, man. It's just always fun coming to set.
I mean, I would say for me, like the prep work of our days leading up to the live audience, our practice is so crucial that the game is, we just go bananas, when it's game time. And the live audience, like they said, it only adds fuel to the fire. And we're trying to make a forest fire every single time. So yeah, everything about it.
Awesome. One last question for me before I let you guys go is obviously Miss Pat plays your mother, but she's also an executive producer and writer on the show. So what has it been like working with her these past 3 seasons?
Oh, man. You can't even, yeah,
It's like
it's fresh every day.
How do you even
It's like
explain that?
we know Pat's the boss, but she doesn't give off like
Nah.
I'm in charge.
It's like
Yeah.
you see the homie. It's like going
Like,
to work with your homie. It's like
literally, because you get advice from her.
Yeah.
Like when we're sitting and waiting, we're not just like going over lines or just talking about the script. Like we live life, so we talking about stuff. And I literally like she'll say certain things, and I'll pull out my phone and write it down because she just say stuff that puts you on game.
Put you on game.
You know what I mean? Just about life.
Yeah.
So I think we just it's a family thing. It's just a vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. That's awesome, guys. Well, Theo, Brianna, Vince, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. Congratulations on season 3 and continued success to all 3 of you.